misclassifying employees as independent contractors, I see this a lot because people either they don't understand the rules, or there is a lot of business consultants that are like, oh, hire people on a 90-day trial and pay them as a contractor. And then if you like them, you can hire them as an employee. That is not how payroll works. You hire people as a provisional employee, but they're still an employee. And you can still, in most states, there is, if you let somebody go within in the first 30, 60, or 90 days, the consequences of, them being let go are not that detrimental to the business, because they understand that, sometimes you hire somebody and they just don't work out. But they do have the right to file an unemployment claim. If you hire somebody as a provisional employee and with the intention of giving them a 1099 and they file unemployment, that is the biggest way that people get caught having misclassified employees. Most of the time people are really concerned that it's going to get turned in, with the IRS. People are way more scared of the IRS for misclassifying employees as independent contractors than they should be. They really should be most concerned with their state unemployment or Department of Labor, because that is the most common way that people will get caught. Like, I am working with somebody right now who just went through a worker classification audit in the state of New Jersey. In appeals, but they've reached out to me for help with reclassifying the contractor payments as wages if they have to. The state of New Jersey wants them to go back to 2015 to reclassify all these contractor payments as wages. And
wow, I can't imagine what that penalty was. That sounds awful.
Well, and that's why when they first met with me, I'm like, you need to hire somebody that can represent you on this case, because I can make the payroll happen. Mm-hmm. That isn't a problem, but I can't represent you on this. And I haven't had it go back. I've never had one go back 9 years. Usually it goes back 2 or 3 years at the most, because that's where the statute of limitations is for the employees to get a refund of the self-employment tax that they would have paid on their 1040. 2 years, 2.5 years, 3 years is usually the look back period when somebody files for unemployment. And so, sometimes that's all the further that the Department of Labor will have you go, is to the look back period. And, the IRS has a common law test that depends on the degree of control and independence that falls into 3 different categories: behavior control, financial control, and the type of relationship to the parties. It just popped up, Jamie. The
I can turn that off. There we go.
Sorry.
We
discussed this. I see flashy things. I get distracted.
It should have been removed. Did it get removed from your screen?
Yes, it is. Thank you.
Yeah.
So, and it doesn't, if you have an employer-employee relationship, it doesn't matter that you don't know if you're going to like to keep this employee on. So this is where those business consultants that are constantly telling people, oh, just pay them as a contractor. Then if you like them, hire them as an employee. One of the biggest IRS red flags that you can have is paying the same Social Security number as a 1090 that gets a 1099 NEC and a W-2 in the same year. That's where the IRS is going to get involved. But I had a business coach that had reached out to me. All she hired were independent contractors. The independent contractors had their own businesses, and the contracts were with the business. The business sent this coach invoices that the coach then paid to her subcontractor business, the EIN, and one of those people filed an unemployment claim when their contract wasn't renewed. They did everything right, but it is still one of those things that comes back, because like she had to fight this. She had to prove that she'd been paying a business and not a person. She had to prove that the person was able to the subcontracted coaching and the different aspects of this coaching business. And she had to prove that the business that she had hired to help her was sending her invoices, and that she was paying based off of the invoices, and not like that she wasn't tracking anything on her own and paying based off of her own records, that she was paying based off of the invoices that she was receiving. And I think it took about 14 months for this to fully resolve. And this is a case where everything was that they did have a contractor. But I mean, imagine if, you know, I see this in different Facebook groups all the time where they're paying a person EIN. They're tracking the number of hours that this person works, and the person that's hired the subcontractor is the one that's pushing the payment and not receiving an invoice and making a payment. They're pushing the payment based on the number of hours that this person has worked. So there's an example that the IRS has on their website. Donna is a salesperson employed on a full-time basis by Bob Blue, an auto dealer. She works 6 days a week, is on duty in Bob's showroom on certain assigned days and times. She appraises the trade-ins. Her appraisals are subject to the sales manager's approval. You know, the list of prospective customers belong to the dealer, not Donna. She has to develop leads and report results to the sales manager. And because of her experience, she often only requires minimal assistance in closing and financing sales. She is paid on a commission basis and is eligible for prizes and bonuses offered by Bob. Bob also pays the cost of health insurance and group term life insurance for Donna. Donna is an employee of Bob Blue's auto dealership. A lot of times I'll see where people are getting paid commission. And so because they're getting paid commission, they want to be treated as contractors and not as employees. And I've seen some I saw a lot more during COVID, where people were wanting to offer health insurance benefits to their contractors and add them to their group policy as a way to like keep the good contractors, especially in the accounting industry, because we all know it's really hard to find good help. And if you've got a subcontractor that's got their own business, one of the things that I think would be a really big detriment to the employee versus independent contractor, in case anything ever were brought up where it was investigated, I think the biggest thing that you can do is offer your group health insurance to your contractor. It's a really nice gesture, And I would love to see that not be something that would cause this issue, but I really think that it is. There's a voluntary classification settlement program. If you have found that you have employees and paying them as a contractor, it's for 952 is really hard and tedious it doesn't look that bad, but it is hard and tedious to fill out. I think every time I do this, in order to gather everything that I need, is probably at least a 20 to 40 hour commitment to fill out this form. And you can only fill this form out if the business owner that wants to reclassify their independent contractors as employees is not already under investigation anywhere. It has to be voluntary. It's not voluntary if they're already caught.